Netflix stock down nearly 5% today on a day the rest of the stock market took off like a rocket. Company canning plans to separate its DVD rentals from its digital inventory, but Netflix not reversing the price hikes, causing customers to take a hike. Marketing expert Jeffrey Hayzlett warned Neil on this very show about the move to put the DVD business into a company called Qwikster. Listen.
I mean, the good news that's going to come out of this is no longer will New Coke be the worst public announcement. It's really going to be Qwikster, which I'm saying is deadster.
2 weeks later, Jeffrey is right, and he is back with us. Jeffrey, did the public really want an about-face really on the fee increase? Forget about the separating the DVD versus the streaming.
Yeah, I think that's a key thing here. They got their fee increase no matter what. I mean, what they did was go through and they've been embarrassed. Are they doing it, not doing it, not doing it? That's what it was all about. I mean, even the new CEO that they named a few weeks ago, think about this guy. His tenure as an officer is shorter than Charlie Sheen's character on Wall Street, the movie, when Bud Fox took over Blue Star Industries. I mean, is that short?
Okay, fine analogy. What is the thinking? I mean, really, what is the corporate strategy? I mean, I know he's a new CEO, but, I mean, is this unprecedented?
No, this is probably, as I said before, a bonehead move before when they did the apology in the middle of announcing the new announcement about the service, and then they backed off. And they're only talking about a few million of their customers, really. It was all about, back in July, they raised the prices some 60%, lost 60% of their share value, which has come down, and in the end they've lost about, I'd say about 1 million, 2 million of their customers, so not that much, about less than 5%.
Did Netflix need to increase prices to stay in good business?
Well, I think it's always, if you're doing a business, you always want to raise your prices as much as possible. Now they're saying they're listening to their customers. Weren't they doing that before? I think it's a good thing for a business to do it. And I think in the end, it's still a good service. I mean, don't get me wrong, still good service. For the money, you still can't get a movie and a Coke and a hot dog if you go out. This, you get to stay in and go home.
You get to be the quarterback in items like this. So how would you have handled this situation?
I would have sat back when they first announced it back in July. I would have sat down and said, let's take the heat. It's going to come. We know it. A price increase isn't a happy thing for most customers, and just sit down. I think here you had people watching their stock portfolios and worrying about their value, and they panicked. They went out.
So Netflix mentioned the pricing controversy in a letter to customers just released this afternoon detailing Qwikster's reversal, saying, quote, while the July price change was necessary, we are now done with price changes. I mean, that's not going to appease anyone. Why put it in a letter now? It's like they're beating this drum.
On top of it, they've lost $200 worth of share price on top of it. I mean, so, look at the company. They've really lost. It's a bonehead move then. It's a bonehead move now. I think it's still better. I think it was a necessary kind of evil of a reversal of a bad decision. But in the end, they didn't have to do it in the first place. That's the real question, is why did they do this in the first place?
Okay. We're beating up on Netflix. Content still impressive. Can Netflix bounce back from this debacle?
Well, they certainly can.
And how do they?
They're good. I mean, they've got a good business. Some 33 million subscribers or thereabouts between the two types of service, traditional DVD and the streaming. They got some real competition though. You've got Amazon coming on strong with what they're doing on the streaming side. Apple, we never know what Apple's going to do. And certainly now you're seeing a lot more advertising going with the Dish Network and Blockbuster. So lots of different things that will come in.
Is there any way to incentivize existing subscribers and any way to lure new subscribers? I mean, how tight is this competitive pricing war going to become?
Oh, it's going to be tight, but if you give good service, people are going to stick with you no matter what. And I think that's the key. I think most customers are going to sit back and say, am I going to have to go through this in another 2 weeks? What are they going to change now? Am I going to lose this? Am I going to get this faster? If you're giving good service, giving great product, you're always going to be good and do it for a value.
Which, in your opinion, your analysis of the streaming video providers, which is the best content and which is the most accessible?
Well, I'm also a customer of a couple of these, but I'm a customer of Netflix. I still think they're doing a great job. I mean, let's don't get that wrong. They were one of the first ones into this business, and they did it well. They built up a good loyal base. The key is whether they're going to keep it and whether they're going to keep enticing me to want to stay.
That's true. And Blockbuster, it's interesting how we're seeing the evolution, right, of these DVD rental stores, Netflix. I mean, it's actually quite brilliant how they're evolving. So what's the next step?
Well, I think that was a big thing for Netflix, too, to leave back the traditional business. That's why I probably would have said it was Netflix Classic rather than saying Qwikster. I mean, Qwikster now is a term for a CEO or leadership that actually makes incompetent decisions. Maybe number 2, C. Reed Hastings, the CEO. I mean, that's really what this has become. You had to transfer from what's a traditional business to a digital business. Lots of companies are doing this all over the place, not just in this genre, but in lots of other industries. And I still think they can get that done.
Jeff, a real pleasure talking to you today. Thanks for your take.
Always good. Always good.
All right, have a good one. Okay, first knocking off Apple, now knocking out Walmart. China's latest step to knock America down.
Thanks.